This evening's scripture reading comes from the Gospel of St. John, the first chapter, the first 5 verses. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God, and all things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. I want you to imagine, just for a moment, what the beginning looked like for all of creation. When it was formless, it was a big, dark void. There was nothing to be seen. But then, the Word, who was with God from the beginning, decided to create all that is in existence. The universe, the stars, the planets, all that is in existence was created with the intention of giving life and to be in a relationship with the creation. We live in dark times, do we not? The world is filled with hatred, with disease, with famine, greed, with violence that is overwhelming. It's amazing that we live as long as we do. It's amazing that we survive each and every day. Imagine Jesus, who came and was born at night to Mary and Joseph there in Bethlehem. He was born at night and provided light starting from the beginning of his time on earth. In the beginning, he brought life to the universe. And then in the beginning of his life as a human being, Jesus brought light to the world. His ministry, which led to so many others to carry the light that he brought to the world, so that way it could be shining as bright as it can be. These are dark times that we live in. We live in times of sadness and sorrow. We live in times that are difficult to navigate, unprecedented, filled with uncertainty, filled with fear, anxiety, depression, sadness, anger. The sinfulness of humanity is creating a dark cloud that only gets darker every day. But the clouds are broken and opened up because of God. The light breaks through the clouds like those beaming rays that you can see after a thunderstorm when it is peeking around the clouds, or when it is finally revealed from where the clouds have moved away. If you've ever looked on a prairie, or if you've ever looked out on a lake or a pond, or in the mountains, you've ever looked up and just saw the sun rising from the horizon and the reflection of the sun off of the glistening water of the bodies of water that you may see, whether it's a lake, pond, the ocean, or whether it was just the shining through the trees as it was trying to come up. Don't you see the light? Don't you see it rising? Don't you see the hope? During this time in our world, we can be that hope, as we can take on the light that Jesus has brought into the world and let it shine. We know that light will never be overcome by the darkness. Scripture tells us this here. And by us having our faith in God, we should know that this is true. Because if God could not overcome the darkness, then why would we worship God? If light was not stronger than darkness, why would we seek out Jesus? If light was not greater than the darkness, then our hope would be gone. It would be extinguished like a flame after its use for lighting a candle. It is the season of Christmas, when we celebrate the birth of Jesus and what he has come to do. We celebrate the light being born. We celebrate the light that pierced the darkness on the night that Mary had Jesus. We celebrate this cosmic understanding of God in the beginning, creating all things, including light, to dispel the darkness. When God created all things, the light and the darkness were separated, but neither destroyed the other. Maybe we should not view this as a destructive thing. Maybe we should not see darkness as something that is all bad. But instead, maybe we should allow the darkness to help us see the light. It is only after you are out into the darkness for a while that your eyes adjust and you begin to see. And you know the old saying, if you don't experience the bad times, then you cannot appreciate the good ones. The light will shine in the darkness and never be overcome by darkness. But the darkness has its place. It has its purpose. It's just the light has a greater purpose. The light gives us hope in the dark times. The light brings us closer and closer to God. And the darkness is not going to win. As we celebrate Christmas, let us continue to see the bright wonder that is the light.